How did you meet your partner? Story 1. Back in the late 90s, I was playing on a men's tennis team. My team's captain was dating a woman whose name is Christine, and was the captain of a women's team. She came to most of our matches, and I got to know her well. The Olympics had come to our city, and my then-girlfriend and I had gone to a couple of events. Christine had seen the two of us there, but it was crazy crowded, and she didn't get a chance to talk to us. Later that year, at one of the men's team tennis matches, Christine and I were chatting, and she had mentioned that she had seen me with my ex at the Olympics. Since then, we had broken up, and I mentioned that to her. About a month later, the two captains decided to form a mixed doubles team from the two teams they captained. At the time that I didn't know this, but Christine was trying to do some matchmaking within the two teams, and suggested to one of her team members that she and I might make a good couple. For our first tennis match of the season, our captains paired me with the woman that Christine thought might be a good romantic match. These tennis leagues are quite social, and the home team provides food and drinks for both the home and visiting teams, and each doubles pair is assigned something to bring. We were to bring something salty. I got up on Sunday morning and made a batch of fresh guacamole. I don't remember if we won or lost, but I do remember her asking me if I'd like to get some lunch, and a group of us going together and me getting her phone number. Our first date was the following Saturday, January 11th. We were engaged on August 15th and married on February 7th the following year. That was 27 years ago. That's sick. Story 2. I, 19 at the time, dated a girl for a month, and we broke up but remained friends. We planned to hang out while she was staying at her friend's house. She asked me to pick her up, but her phone was dying, so I should text her friend when I got there. I did, met her friend, drive her to work, and then didn't think much about it. Her friend then added me on social media. I figured a friend of a friend is a friend of mine, so we were online friends for a while. When I, now 23, transferred to a new college, I learned that my ex's friend was in the same town. We planned to hang out after my orientation. We instantly hit it off, went out to dinner. She suggested we walked on the beach. Didn't read the sign that said the parking lot closes at sundown. My car got locked behind a gate and I had no way of getting home. I had not yet moved and lived 2 hours away, so she invited me to her house. Fortunately, things worked out. We got married 2 years later. Pretty quick, but I was possibly moving to another country and wanted her to be able to come with me. Ended up not going overseas, but we are still happily married with a child. Now we're both 32. Well, that's some character development arc for both of you. Story 3. I got out of a very, very abusive marriage and began isolating. Someone I knew tangentially got in touch with me and said, "Hey, I know you are dealing with a divorce. Do you want to take a drive with me up to a tourist town and spend the day exploring?" I had seen him at events and brunches, knew he was a good guy. He was really sweet and kept my mind off the divorce and everything. We did a ton of stuff. He was working me out of my depression and my shell, and especially my fear about how everyone we knew would hate me, even though everyone knew X was the abuser. A couple weeks after my divorce was finalized, friend got us tickets to a concert. I was a wreck and nervous. I ran a bit late, had trouble with parking, etc. He saved the day on all of it. There was a ton of people I knew there, but they haven't seen me in over a year. Everyone was excited to see me and happy I was out and everything. That got me calmed down and everything was cool. There were lots of people there I didn't know from our social group, and my friend starts introducing me to them. Eventually I retreat as I'm a bit overwhelmed, watch the second band, and step outside for fresh air. One of his friends comes over, said he sees my social media, etc., and brings up a hilarious post. We talked a bit and went inside. My friend seemingly kept throwing us at each other. It's been 7.5 years and we are very happy. Good luck for your future. Story 4. First time I ever saw my wife, she walked into briefing before shift. She walked right in front of me and her ass went by my face, so I couldn't help but see it, and damn was it nice. My gaze followed her and went up to see her face. She was turned away from me and she had skin fade to a small mohawk. Thought she was a dude, and quickly turned my head and began evaluating myself. I legitimately, though I was gay for a second until I heard her talk and saw her face/front. Nothing wrong with being gay. Just been straight my whole life and legit thought I was learning something about myself. When we first spoke and actually met was later that day. I was in my third phase of field training, very large county jail, and was basically the fetch boy from my training officer. I had been sent out to get supplies 4 times and I kept running into her just walking around and shooting the shit with other officers. I had finally had enough and caught her in booking and asked her, "Do you do anything around here or not?" All of booking stopped, which is unheard of, and everyone looked in shock. She whipped around, stared straight in my eyes and said, "Yeah, I make pretty little boys like you get down on your knees and suck my cock." I was pleasantly happy that she thought I was pretty. It was downhill from there. My decision was made. Been together 8 years and married for 5 with 2 kids. I guess she was right. She made me get on me knees and do things. Damn. Story 5. My cousin is really intelligent and a little obsessive. When she was 14, she tagged along when her parents dropped her older brother off at college his freshman year. She briefly met his roommate, who came from the same town as them, but had attended private school. She fell hard. How hard? She Googled his family, found out he had a younger sister her age, and proceeded to beg her parents to send her to that same private school. She claimed it was because they had such a great English program. She then went out of her way to befriend this girl. They were soon the best of friends, and she would frequently hang out at this girl's house. Soon the parents also grew fond of her. They thought it was a great coincidence that her brother and their son were college roommates. She hung out at their house so much that she would occasionally run into the older brother when he was visiting home, and she managed to befriend him as well. For years later, her crush/obsession moved to New York for graduate school. Coincidentally enough, my cousin decided to attend that same school for undergrad. She told him she was really nervous about being in a big city where she didn't know anyone. So they started hanging out. He had a long-distance girlfriend of 2 years who had gotten drunk early in the relationship and cheated on him. He had forgiven her. My cousin went on a campaign to convince him that cheaters never change, that they lose respect for their partners if they take them back, and that the relationship was essentially doomed. 6 months later, he ended the relationship. 6 months after that, my cousin made her move. They've been together for 2 years now. Well, dang. Thank you for listening. Follow for more.